Love, a short story by Olen Butler, a great writer, excellent story, and I felt that it's so powerful and worthwhile read that it necessitates a separate note. Um, the habit for the short stories noted here on this list, where you can find other notes. Chef-d'oeuvres, it's one list, and favorite books another. So the strategy was to associate two short stories and have a note on two, as opposed to just one short story. But this one is special. It deals with love. In the 10 positive traits identified by Barbara Fredrickson in her book Positivity, one classic of positive psychology, love is the nec plus ultra. Love is the positive trait, but which has it all, so to say. The most important. On top of amusement, awe, hope, pride, and the other elements. So here we have a couple of Vietnamese people, a man and his wife. He is considered wimpy by some villagers, neighbors. And the question is, how could he get such a beautiful woman to be his wife? Because she's extremely handsome, gorgeous, attracts the attention of the Vietnamese and the American soldiers. They live near two American bases and an airfield. And he's a spy for the Americans, has control over 20 sources, 20 Vietnamese locals, and he gives information to the base. He had a good relationship and he had good results, so now they trust him when he says there's going to be a rocket attack and these are the coordinates. He's very worried about his wife, especially in what has to do with Vietnamese men. She's not, she doesn't like Americans, and I guess those with white European traits. But with Vietnamese, they get very bold and they say something like this. I'm not quoting, it's just the idea I left with. She has two buttons loose at the blouse she's wearing, and then they say something like, we should approach her because she has those two holes unbuttoned. She walks like that and she's gorgeous. I mean, we have to. Plus, why would she unbutton the blouse like this? How much cooler does she think she can get with two? And those who are too insistent are warned by our hero, who is short, and as I said, considered wimpy because he has a style of his own, but that's just the appearance, it seems, because he warns those who get too close or try to get too close to his wife. Sends one of those 20 men and women he controls. Fire will come from the sky if you continue. And if they ignore the alarm signal, fire eventually comes from the sky. How? Well, he gives the coordinates to the Americans, who now trust him. And he knows, he has a good mind. He's well trained as a spy, and he knows how to get all the information he needs. And people have habits, as he says. So this lumberjack will go and have lunch at this place at this time, and the fire will come from the sky. His wife suspects. They have a conversation, very mysterious, with suggestions. They don't say it plainly out there, violently. They have another style. So when she hears that the lumberjack who liked her so much just disappeared, she says, I think mistakes are made in the war when they speak in the evening, night. Yes, mistakes are made, and they can be deadly, fatal. How was it clear to him that she knows something, and in return he made it plain that he can control? I'm not sure. Anyway, a week before the end of Saigon and South Vietnam and the Vietnamese conflict, they are taken to the US as a token of appreciation, as a reward for services he rendered to the Americans. And they now live near New Orleans. And our narrator emphasizes the importance of history in Vietnam, in traditions here in New Orleans too. Taken by the French when Napoleon was leader, because he took over Spain, and then sold to the Americans 2 years later. But before that, they had people from the Caribbean with voodoo and all the rest. We'll see what the importance of this is. So here he's much more relaxed for quite a few years, because there are many Americans and she doesn't like Americans. Nevertheless, an occasion to worry to death comes when they eat at a Vietnamese restaurant, and he can see that his wife likes the owner. And with his spy skills, he sees clearly that she likes the food even if he feels it's lousy. This man has a bad, insulting name in his view to Vietnamese. He has all the signs. Alas, he doesn't have the fire from the sky, which he controlled in Vietnam, and he doesn't have the manpower. No more people to be his eyes and ears, as he called them in his home country. So he has to deal with it on his own, and he finds the solution in voodoo. He goes in the district known for that, and he finds a papa, that's how low life, a papa ready to get into black magic with terrible effects. So he goes in. He's impressed with the powers, because at moments he cannot move. He feels the man knows his intentions, and when they talk, agree, that's what you need to do. First of all, you need to know that there will be 3 occasions when you would feel like giving up, and they would happen, as the prophet predicted. Self-fulfilling prophecies. You need to take this bladder of a pig, which I give you. there's this blood. You will put the blood in together with male goat feces, and a lock of hair from your wife. You throw it over the house of your enemy, and it will be bad for him, but good for you. So he goes, he thinks, where do I get the goat feces? He goes to a zoo, follows a goat there, is seen by children, and all the children look at him. Look, this man is putting, because he had as a recipient for the feces, he took a popcorn box. Look, this man is putting goat feces into his popcorn. And they all look, and it's a mess. He feels like abandoning his wife. That's the first time of denial, like Peter with Jesus. And then he goes to the house, thinks this is too long to throw over it. Perhaps on the side is okay too. He tries that, but then the package is strapped into a tree. Climbs up the tree, and on top of the tree, with the noise of some branches fall off, the man is coming out. His enemy. What's going on there? I will not say what happens next. It's for you to read and find out.